there's also a process from the Stanford D School, right? They have the mindsets that we're really trying on today. We're exhibiting that bias toward action. But they also have a process. And this process begins with empathy, right? So this is where the key thing is. Because when I ask people, well, what are you thinking of when you're thinking about design thinking? Most of the time they're talking about the ideas, right? What do we do with the ideas? How do we do the stuff on the whiteboard or with a Post-it note, right? Or theming them or that kind of stuff. Well, that's actually later on in the process. Few people talk about this, and this is what makes design thinking different, right? Is it starts with empathy. It starts with your customers or your users or the people you would like to serve or help, right? So let's say you're starting a business from scratch. The traditional way would be you've got to think of the idea, and you make the thing, and then you show it to customers, and nobody buys it. This approach, you don't make anything first. You first start by talking to people, by observing, by listening, by interviewing, by looking at information to find out what are people actually saying they want or they need. And when you do that approach to starting a business, perhaps, sometimes you will get people telling you not only the problem they have, the solution they'd like, can you do it for me? Can you start doing this? You know, we have some people that I know here that have taken on this approach, and they've gotten already offers from just clients they had a conversation with to say, hey, can you offer this service? Here's how much we can pay for it, right? So that happens when you start with empathy, because that's so rare for them, right? Nobody really gets interviewed about, you know, who they are and what they need and their challenge, right? It's rare. We usually just get stuff sold to us, right? So this is where it begins with empathy. And then from all that empathy, which is in the form of interviews, observations, anything like that, you define what the real challenge is. And that challenge is probably going to be different than what you originally thought, right? Because now it's validated in the actual insights you receive from people. What do you actually need, right? And when you define that, now you can generate ideas. And this is going to be easier because the people, when you talk to them, probably already gave you ideas for things they would like. So it's a lot easier for you to generate ideas because they're either providing the ideas or providing the catalyst. Here's the challenge I have. What can you do to help, right? And then after you have ideas, we're doing what we do now, and we create prototypes, right? So we want to go right back to these customers or these users to say, hey, did I hear it right? Is this the challenge you have? Is this the kind of idea that's going to make a difference for you? Here's an actual prototype so you can get your hands on it. Do you need this whiteboard product where you can do it? You know, get your hands on it. Let's do something and let me understand, right? So you want to create a really rough, rapid prototype. And this is going to be something, hopefully, that doesn't take a long time to do because we want to fail earlier. We want to fail often. We want to fail fast, all the classic terms, right? Before we spend a lot of time and money in doing the wrong thing. So after you've created that prototype and bounced off of them, then that's when you test it on people, right? That's where you actually bring it, you show it, you get the insight. Sometimes you can create a prototype and see if people will actually buy it, right? Like we could create a prototype right here where, let's say we want to do the next Dream Bank workshop. Well, I could simply take out my phone and say, okay, the next workshop is going to be an hour-long one, but I could take out my phone and create a video. Hey, this is Darin. We've got a workshop that we're designing about how to create your own whiteboard product. We're going to guide you through the innovation process just on your own personal whiteboard. So if you'd like to sign up, just do this. And if you want to start and pay, send this much money to PayPal, right? So you can just create a quick prototype where you're showing something, talking about what it is, the main stuff, and then sharing it on LinkedIn or Facebook, right? So you can almost bounce it off. Does anybody engage? Does anybody like it? Does anybody comment? Hey, does anybody even subscribe or even start to buy, right? So you can go through this process really quickly of even testing to see if you can get customers from this, perhaps, or to see if you're aligned, right? So it can happen fast. Everything that's big can be done in a short kind of snippet way. So important process.